All right. Wait, we are live at the what do we call this? The Clayton fundraiser?
The John Clayton Housewarming Party.
Okay. We're live here with Jim Moore. Hello. How are you?
Scott, how are you?
Good to see you. Look at you in the draws. That's right. You guys are matching. This is awesome.
Bummer.
How long have you known Jim Moore, guys?
Jim Moore was the first guy to criticize me at length of this town. Did it in the newspaper, in the PI. Yes, you did. You're the only guy who's ever done it. You said that I was, well, it was all very valid stuff.
I just lit the fire.
Okay, you're the only guy who's ever done it. Big time. You got after it.
About what?
I was being. No, it wasn't valid. Saying I was drunk wasn't valid. No, it was good criticism. It was just like the guys from Bohar and the guy from... Look,
I don't even see.
one of my biggest...
What's he mad about?
Damn old now.
Jim,
I don't even know what I wrote.
one of my biggest... Well, no, you actually made it a point of saying, like, hey, I'm sorry, I criticized you. I thought it was great that you actually talked about sports radio. You were nice to me about it.
But I've written nice stories about you, too. When you went into your heart surgery.
Well, yeah, you mentioned that I was... His next story was, the Gross is going in for heart surgery.
Hope he makes it.
And then when guy said that, yeah, like, I hope he dies. He never said that.
And there was the other thing where I asked you to take off the voice.
I remember that too. Yeah. No, it was all good. You were the first guy. It was okay. You hit me hard. It was good. No one. I always thought that would be the start of critic. One of the things that boggles me about this is that nobody does a critique of sports radio.
I know.
Or I mean, it's the
local sports.
yeah, or TV or anything. Nobody.
Isn't there a media critic for the paper?
There's no media critic.
At all?
Jim was the first thing to it.
I did it for about a year and a half.
That was when it was
I used to
a
call.
good swing.
What was Dory Monson? Wasn't he somebody's producer? Was he Dory's producer?
Might have been. Might have been.
I used to call Dory Monson when he did like who the guest were. Dory Monson.
It's actually amazing.
So I've probably known Graz for
20 years.
20 years. And,
The answer to the question is 20
and now you're working together again.
Again, actually for the first time. In fact,
You worked together. You were on his show. Yeah.
Jim might, now if Jim doesn't want to be an asshole right now,
Too late, huh?
it's okay, we can say words like that. What, you got to call you because I'm not my wife's style. You want me to handle it?
He's really good at that.
No, you don't want me to handle it.
Chris Cashman says you're really good at handling wives. He said he put his wife on the phone. Well, not in that way.
Oh, you mean it that way?
He said he gave his wife the phone or you the phone, and
Jim just told his wife he was coming.
I'm leaving right now.
He'll be right home. One more thing. It's my fault. It's Crosby. I apologize.
It's my
I
fault.
remember the fabulous time we had with the kids on Body Hard. I'm sorry. We were 5 more minutes with you. I can't hear what you're saying.
Yeah.
She hung up.
there you go. Remember what I said about you being good with wives? I don't know now.
I guess not.
Yeah.
Now, what were you saying?
But didn't you work together? You were on the show a lot, right? You were
No, one more. We did work together.
Once a week I went on.
once a week. Okay, all right.
No, it's something else you were bringing.
What else? What did I ask you? Well, you keep interrupting me.
You asked me.
Yes.
I don't know.
What did I ask you?
I don't know.
Oh, but you guys are working together now, not again, in the same building.
We never worked together in the first place. We knew each other. I knew Jim. I remember respecting Jim because Gary Payne wanted to kick the shit out.
Why?
I don't remember why that was. That wasn't exactly. It was some
Were you a beat guy for the Sonics?
Oh, you didn't know that?
guy,
Oh, my
no.
God. Jim. No, all right.
All right, we're ready. We're ready.
Allow me. Allow me. Jim is actually
Yes.
one of the great beat reporters in the city. Beat reporter meaning a guy who covered two.
Right.
He covered the Sonics so well that Gary Payton threatened to kick his ass. I don't know what George Paul might have threatened. It might have been something like that.
Yeah, I tried writing a story. There was a game in the playoffs where and Gary didn't want to talk about. He had to go to the hospital after the game. He needed he needed fluids. He didn't want to talk about it. I thought it was a good human interest story, and I kept pressing him. I wanted to talk about it. He didn't want to talk about it. One thing led to another. He got up. I finally, instead of putting my tail between my legs and walking out like I usually do, I just had had enough of Gary Payton. And so I told him I was sick of his shit. And he stood up and he got in my face and he said, "So what are you going to do about it?"
Oh, jeez.
And then I didn't know what to say. And
You didn't say anything.
What'd you end up doing about it?
Well,
Yeah.
he just brushed his teeth.
Uh-huh.
So I noticed he had a little toothpaste in the corner of his mouth.
Yeah.
So I pointed at the corner of his mouth and I said, "Gary, you got a little toothpaste in the
Oh,
corner of your
jeez.
mouth." And then he went like this.
Really?
Sam Perkins, Perkins and Wingate or somebody stopped him. And the next thing I know, George Carl's bear hugging me.
Oh my gosh.
And then Peyton and I are going back and forth. You know, fuck you asshole.
It was
Awesome.
You know, the thing is, I remember what the original story was, but
Yeah.
it's nowhere near that good.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it's nowhere near. The story I was going to say, I shouldn't even say it, should I?
Hey, go ahead.
I mean, it was such a better story. Well, Jim has always been nice enough to credit me for helping keep your job. I don't know why you've done it.
For helping me keep
Yeah,
this
keep
job.
the job with Kevin, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I don't
You
know.
were hired.
I was
I came in
actually
as a
hired to replace Jim.
Yeah.
And the original idea is I was hired to replace Jim.
I remember, yeah.
And it was mainly for my mind. It wasn't to replace you.
It was in the paper, I remember.
One of the late night, the later shift was a lot more days off and
Yeah.
stuff like that. But took less money to take the job.
Yeah.
Hey man, call it what it is.
Right.
It was like 2 months off. So I agreed to like a 25% pay cut to take the job. So we go to a dinner. I don't even know if you know this story. We go to a dinner. And it's with the GM of the station, and the PD is no longer there, and a few other guys. And Kevin Calabro's there, and I'm like, Kevin, it's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to working with you. It'll be great. And he's like, well, tell the truth. We're telling the truth now. I like working with Jim. I like doing what I'm doing. I'm thinking that I made a mistake by not complaining about this in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
So now, for me, now Jim's not a radio guy, he's a newspaper guy.
Yeah.
Fortunately, he wasn't there. If you were there, it would have been a very tough situation. But Jim's not there. So I'm like, okay, whatever, and you shine it off. I mean, Kevin likes working with Jim. It's not a personal thing, and you understand, he's been in the business for a long time. So it's not a personal thing at all. But I called the guy the next day, the GM, and I said, hey, Kevin wants to work with Jim. This is not going to work.
Yeah.
You need to give us another show, or otherwise I was going to go back to KJR.
Yeah.
That's when they fired Colin Coward, who's a lame-ass piece of shit.
Yeah, he sucks, yeah.
Gave me his show, kept Jim on the afternoon show. Jim has thanked me 10 times for it, something like that.
Oh, that's nice.
And, well, it is nice because he's a nice guy.
Yeah.
You
You can tell he's not a radio guy. That's how nice he is.
That's why.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of why.
Yeah.
And it had nothing to do with anything. I mean, it was just, it really
Well, I
didn't.
remember, you probably don't know this. Owen took me out to breakfast, 13 coins.
Yeah. Owen was our old PD.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm thinking that he might be talking contract and want to have you work with Kevin. So I sit down, he sits down, the menus come, and he looks at me and he goes, well, we've decided to hire Dave Crosby to work with Kevin. I went, fired! Oh. And then I said to him, I go, well, should I take my toys and go home now? And he goes, well, I would if I were you. And I go,
Oh,
well,
that's nice.
And then he was well, no, I mean, he just told me that. He told me to take him over for 3 months, or 2 months, and then asked me to continue to work with Kevin. And I didn't have anything else going.
There you go.
It was a
Yeah.
smart decision.
It's 2 months of work.
Worked out well.
It worked out really well. I mean, I'm not unhappy. Things like this always
Does
wind
it
up
bother
working
you when the
out.
Mariners have East Coast games on?
Big time. Big time. The only time is that time. It's like that motherfucker is getting my days off.
That's right. That is a good gig.
When they're rained out.
I know it does. That's a pretty good degree.
You have to look at weather.com a lot, you know, to make sure the games.
Of course, literally.
Constantly rooting for rain.
But in all honesty, and Jim, I don't know who it was that was the best new addition to Sports Talk Radio last year.